Well, crap. I just shot this video for you guys and I accidentally deleted it. So, here we go again. And this video posed quite a challenge for me. Because as I told you guys, I'm doing this all raw. So I got to have everything like set up and what I'm doing in my head. That was part of my problem with editing stuff before, is like, I didn't plan anything out, so I ended up with so much chopped up footage. It was like impossible for me to edit or make any sense out of it. But so that's why I'm doing this, just using my phone and planning everything out, and it's just like on a little clamp. And this one I have clamped to, obviously, to my tripod with the screen behind it, because I'm gonna show you how I focus the camera with the little focus poster back there. Normally I just have it clamped to my desk over here, and that's how I'm doing these videos, is with that clamp and the phone just hanging over the top of the desk, posing quite a challenge. And I'm actually shooting this video through the Runcam Swift right now on my little harness here that I like to use for. I find it easier to focus my camera out of the quad so that I can get everything nice and tight, because I really spend a lot of time focusing my camera in and getting it perfect. And I use I use a Q-tip and just put a little teeny bit of Loctite on the threads, not down towards the end where your sensor in the back of your lens is, but kind of in the middle of the barrel. Just wipe a little bit on there and focus it in. Then I focus it in real nice and perfect so that I don't have to ever mess with it again once it's in the quad. It doesn't like vibrate loose. I was going to show you something else if I can find it here. Can also, here's another option, is to use some heat shrink and slide it over your lens and just heat shrink it on there instead of the Loctite. And I still have a little bit of a cold, so excuse me. So now I'm going to have to unfocus this to show you how I focus it. Stay about 10 feet. You can download one of these focus posters. They have a thing where you can print it online. I don't know, just Google like camera focus or something, I guess. I don't remember the exact link. I think Project Blue Falcon actually has the link for it. But so what I'll do is I'll pick when I focus the camera, stay back about 10 feet, because we're not flying, we're not looking at anything 1 or 2 feet away. You know, I can get up there close and focus the center in, but don't worry about the center. What I want to see is those outside lines, right? So I just focused this, dang it. Let me unfocus it. So what I'll do, and I got it really nice and tight and perfect. Darn it. Sorry about this. Okay, so let's start over, since I accidentally deleted the video. So what I'll do is I'll bring it in, screw it in until I see where it just came out of fuzz and started to focus there. And then I'll see how far I have to turn the lens around for it to start to go out of focus again. You see what I mean there? And then I'll find that middle point where the center, you're never going to get it to focus on the center, but you want to make that center as small as possible, and then you can see the lines starting to extend out. Right there is where it's going to be focused in. And then what I'll do is I'll turn it back out just a hair as I put the ring down, the adjustment ring here. Screw that all the way down, just a hair out of focus. And then screw the lens back into it so it's nice and tight into focus. And there we go. We can see the lines on the outside and see how small the center got. Really take your time on this and make sure it's focused in good, and use your little bit of Loctite or heat shrink or whatever, and then you don't have to mess with it again. Now when I use the Loctite, I can still get the lens out of here if I crash or something, no problem. That's why I use the Q-tip and just use a teeny little bit. And the other part I want to go through with you guys real quick here, my puppy, She's all nice and peaceful until I start doing something, and then she's curious about everything I'm doing and want to jump on it and bite everything. She's a puppy. Huh, little girl. She's only just over 4 months old, almost 5 months old. I did a video on all my favorite cam settings, but I messed something up on it. On the white balance, I actually had them backwards. So we're going to go through this again. Cam title, you can obviously put on whatever you want. If you want the cam title on. Exposure, I put on auto. Brightness default is like 50, but I turn that down to 30 because it if I have it up at 50, when I fly into the sun or into a light or something, it blows it out. And you can, that's on my favorite cam setting video. But anyway, I put that at about 30. Now AGR, right? Until you go into, I put this on middle. And of course, dynamic range on, right? But this AGC, is not, there's not going to be a setting for this until you turn on the display onto LCD. So if you don't see a setting there, it's because your display isn't on LCD yet. So the display needs to be on LCD to set that on middle. So anyway, let's go back. So exposure, right? Once the LCD is on, we put the brightness at 30, the AGC on the middle, dynamic range on. Backlight we obviously want off. White balance, this is where I messed up on my camera setting video. I put it on manual, and I put the blue at 55, and I had said 45 in my other video, and the red at 45. I want more blues and greens in my video than reds. See what I'm saying? If I do something else, she's a little brat, wants attention. Anyway, it's a proven fact that reds make us more aggressive. So I don't want, blues and greens are, it's proven that when we have blues and greens in our eyes, it's more peaceful. So it gives us a more relaxed flying effect than having reds in our screen. Dog! Stop it! She's swinging that thing around and smacking my camera. Day and night, we want that on color. Sorry guys, my dog. If you can just hang on for 1 second, I'll be done, okay? Calm down. Day and night I want on color, not on manual or black and white obviously, but not on manual. If it's on manual, it'll switch back and forth as I go through different lighting conditions. Just leave it on color, it's fine. Image adjust, lens shade off, 2DR off, 2DNR off. Obviously we don't want mirror. Font color, you can change the colors of these fonts or your cam title or whatever you want. Contrast, I run contrast at about 100. And my sharpness, it comes default at 26, but I put it at 25. Some guys crank it all the way up. To me, it seems a little grainy. So 25 works fine for me. Obviously, display to LCD, a negative image off. Now these settings, we don't need to depick, and hopefully we're all speaking English. So that's that. These settings seem to work really well for me as far as when I set it up in my goggles. Then I can just tweak the brightness and contrast in my goggles for different lighting conditions. And I've never had to go back into the camera, and with this GoPro lens, like I said before, I can fly pretty much at night in the dark and see fine. Like there's a video where I was flying on the island with Rotor Riot, and we were flying at night, and I could see fine through my camera, but my GoPro didn't even pick up like the ground and stuff. But the video came out kind of cool. So anyway, this is a little bit of a shorter video because I don't want to put you guys through me reclamping the phone and everything to the desk to go on to the next step. But like I said, I wanted to bring raw footage of every step I did through this build. so that maybe somebody can pick up something or learn something as we go along. There's all my builds up there. Here's the one we're currently working on. And that's that. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope that helps somebody out. You can see what a nice cool color those settings give. Now you could go back in and like, let me do something here real quick and show you guys. As long as we're here, you can go back into the white balance and actually tweak this a little bit. It doesn't have to be quite so much blues. Like you can put this at 54, 53, and then bring the red up, you know, a fuzz, depending on your eyes. But that's just like the settings that I prefer, because I like the blues and greens a little more than the red. Actually, that doesn't look bad there. I'm going to fly that around for a little bit and see how that is, just to balance it out a little bit more. But I like the trees and everything to pop, and the sky to pop with the blues and greens. Anyway, peace!